A royal princess, a forbidden love, a fatal crash in the dead of night. Some say it was an accident. Others believe it was never meant to be survived. This is the untold story of Princess Diana's final hours and the life she fought to reclaim.
One name, one story, one legacy that shaped the world. Welcome to Timeless Voices, where legendary lives come to life.
A royal princess, a forbidden love, a fatal crash in the dead of night. Some say it was an accident. Others believe it was never meant to be survived. This is the untold story of Princess Diana's final hours and the life she fought to reclaim. She was born Diana Frances Spencer on July 1st, 1961, in a stately English estate called Park House. The Spencers were aristocrats, close to the royal family for generations, but Diana's childhood was far from the perfect dream. Her parents' bitter divorce left her heart torn in ways no title could fix. At just 6 years old, she watched her mother walk away and never fully returned from.
End of the day, a man is the only answer. Actually, a fulfilling job is better for me.
As a teenager, Diana was quiet, awkward, and often described herself as thick. But behind that shyness was a rare warmth. She loved children, ballet, and caring for the vulnerable. She worked as a part-time nanny and kindergarten assistant. Then, at just 19, she was chosen for something that would change her life forever. Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne, was under pressure to find a bride. She needed to be young, noble, beautiful, and above all, obedient. Diana fit the mold. The world watched in awe as she walked down the aisle at St. Paul's Cathedral in 1981. Her wedding dress was iconic, her smile radiant. But as she said, "I do," she whispered something to her sister the night before. "I can't go through with this." She married him anyway. Behind the palace gates, the fairy tale dissolved. Charles was distant, cold, and worst of all, still deeply in love with Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana's world turned gray. She battled postpartum depression, bulimia, and relentless media scrutiny. Every cry, every slip, every tear was splashed across front pages. But instead of crumbling, Diana transformed. She redefined what it meant to be royal. She touched AIDS patients with bare hands, hugged children with disfigurements, and knelt beside the homeless. She didn't wait for approval. She led with her heart. The people saw her not as a symbol, but as one of them, and they loved her for it. Her marriage, however, could not be saved. In 1992, Diana and Charles separated. For years later, they divorced. She lost her title, but found her voice. She began dating again, started new projects, and stepped fully into her power as a humanitarian icon. Then came Dodi Al-Fayed, a wealthy Egyptian film producer. In the summer of 1997, the two were inseparable. Some say she was in love. Others say she was finally free. But the press saw blood in the water. Paparazzi chased them through cities, onto boats, into hotels. Until one night, they chased them into a tunnel. August 31st, 1997, Paris. Diana and Dodi left the Ritz Hotel just after midnight, trying to evade the photographers. Their driver, Henri Paul, was speeding. The black Mercedes entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel at over 100 kilometers per hour. The crash was instant. Dodi and the driver died on the spot. Diana was still alive, but critically injured. For over an hour, emergency workers fought to stabilize her. Her heart had been torn. At 4 a.m., she was pronounced dead. She was just 36 years old. The world froze. The news of Diana's death triggered a grief so massive, so raw, that it swept across continents.
Millions web top en lit.
Mourners gathered in silent crowds. Buckingham Palace flew its flag at half-mast, something that had never been done before. Over 2.5 billion people watched her funeral. Elton John sang a haunting rendition of Candle in the Wind, rewritten just for her. Her sons, William and Harry, walked behind her casket, their eyes filled with a grief far too heavy for boys their age. But even in death, Diana sparked a reckoning. Was it truly an accident? Why were they being chased? Why was the driver intoxicated? Why wasn't Diana wearing a seatbelt? The questions have never fully faded, and some believe they never will. But this much is true. Diana wasn't just a princess. She was a revolution wrapped in silk. A woman who shattered royal traditions, touched the untouchable, and made the world feel seen. Her story wasn't one of tragedy. It was one of triumph. Because in the end, Diana didn't just survive a broken system, she exposed it. And though she's gone, her legacy endures. In her sons, in her causes, in every act of compassion she inspired. She didn't need a crown to be remembered. She only needed a heart.